Hi everyone, it's Leilani. Welcome back to my channel. So today, friends, it is time to pull out the October daily goodies here and work on the next few stories in my album. So the first one that actually is, I think I work on it second, but the first one is going to be all about Starbucks drinks and the fall drinks. And the second story is going to be a double page all about going to Disney with my mom this past week. So I think we're actually going to work on the Disney first, but in chronological, the fall drink story is a one pager and it's going to go before this one. So right now I'm just getting my pages in order. So I was looking through my stack of pattern paper that I have left over. And this orange that I chose is not like my number one favorite paper, but I do really like the tone on tone orange, but it is very orange. But I was trying to save a few of those favorite sheets that I have, the stripe, the polka dot, all of those, the ones that I keep using, because I know that I have like a ton of other stories that I want to tell this month. So I don't want to use up all of my favorite papers. And I had enough of this orange that I could do a double page. So I just went with that. So my layout idea for this one is the same one that I've done many times before. If you followed along with some of my other October daily and December dailies, you may remember this. I believe that I originally found this layout, or the inspiration that kind of brought me to this layout, was from Pinterest, but I've like kind of just changed it up and adapted it to my own style. But the idea is just to print off small photos. So all of these are 1 inch by 1.5 inch. So they're quite small. So I pretty much printed off like all of my photos that I edited from mine and my mom's trip. And then I'm just kind of picking and choosing. And that just worked out easier for me. I did end up only using the vertical photos and not horizontal, but I didn't know I was going to do that at the time. So I could have been a little more choosy and maybe saved a little bit of ink, but it's fine with me. So you see that I'm just cutting them out, and then I'm making like little notches on the bottom to create a banner. And I use some very thin gold and white twine that I have. That's my favorite twine. And I just cut that out. You can see I just popped it into place. I am going to staple it on with my tiny attacher here in a few, but I'm just essentially creating these little banners. Then I'm going to, in addition to the photos, I'm going to also add pieces of embellishment. So I have the die cut set, the sticker sheets, the like cardboard or chipboard sticker sheet, things like that. So I'm going to add different things on, and this will kind of evolve over time. But first, I got all the pictures ready, and then I am stapling on my ribbon here, or my twine. So I just really liked this idea. Like I said, I got it from Pinterest years ago, and I used it in one of my December dailies, I know, and it was for Disney. And then I believe last year I used it, if I'm not mistaken, also it's always been a Disney layout, but it just works out so well because I have so many photos from Disney and so many that I want to include, but it's hard to pick and choose. And already I have a lot of stories to go in October daily. So I don't want to do more than really like a 2-page spread in here. So it's just a great way. It's a really cute layout, and it's a great way to add on a ton of photos and to use up a lot of your embellishments. So I really enjoyed this particular idea. So once we get everything into place, I'm going to start to pop my photos on, and I kind of have an idea of where I want them to go, but I'm just kind of placing them here and there and just getting the flow going. And then I'm going to leave a few spaces. So I want like 4 things to go on each one of these ribbons. So you can see that I'm leaving like little spots in between in different areas. And that's where I'm going to add like an additional larger embellishment. So you'll start to see this come together. And while I am working on it, I'll tell you a bit about our trip to Disney. So one of mine and my mom's very, very favorite things, if not our very favorite thing to do together, is to go to Disney World. So we have gone many, many times. We typically do go every year. And I just love getting to do this trip with her. It's a great trip for me and her to do together because once we're there, we know the layouts really well. We know the parks really well. And we're very like safe in that Disney bubble. We don't have to try to get around. You know, they provide buses and all kinds of stuff. We actually drove this time. So we did have a pretty decent drive there and back. It's about 11 and a half hours from us. So it was a lot of driving, but we had a great time on the drive too, honestly. And we re-listened to the Serial podcast with Adnan, and that was fun. And we listened to a couple other podcasts and, chatted and got our snacks and our drinks. And we really had a good time. But of course, it's great when you finally get there, and it's great when you finally get home when you have one of those long trips. But yeah, and then we don't like to drive to the park. So we always take the buses, and we stayed at Port Orleans, this time Riverside, which we have been staying at Port Orleans French Quarter for the past few years, and we've really liked that one. So this is like the same resort, but just like a different, I guess, side of it, and it's the much bigger one. So I think I prefer French Quarter because it's way smaller, it's way more intimate, but this one was really pretty. And it was really nice too. So we had a great time. Plus you get your own bus to the park. So that's a plus for sure. And we just had 2 days at the park. So we tried to have a pretty quick trip because we also, have a lot of other stuff going on this month and want to get back to the fam. It's hard to leave them for sure. But yeah, we had a great day at Epcot, and I'll tell you some of the highlights from Epcot were for sure going on Soarin'. That's my mom's favorite ride, and she gets so tickled on Soarin'. So that's like one of my favorite things to do with her. We also rode Frozen and the Three Caballeros and Figment, of course, and Living with the Land. Some classics. We got our favorite plant-based pudding that they have it's kind of like the Worms and Dirt minus the worms. They have that at the Lamb Pavilion. So we were able to get that this year, and that's always like a treat that we like to grab. And then we also ate lunch at Space 220. We ate there last year too, and that's one of our new favorites that we really, really like. So we were able to do that again, had a great experience, all of that. They have some pretty decent like vegan options there. So that's nice. So we just had an all around great day at Epcot. And then we moved on to Magic Kingdom for our second day. And of course, that's my favorite park. And it's just, again, so magical. We had a lot of fun there. We had the Lightning Lane for Pirates, for Haunted Mansion, and also, which is my favorite ride, and also for Peter Pan's Flight, which we haven't done in forever. It's so quick, but it always has a long line. So that was kind of nice to be able to do since we had the Lightning Lane, which is like a fast pass to get you going through the line quicker. And we rode a bunch of other stuff like the, People Mover. We did the Carousel of Progress. We did Mickey's PhilharMagic, which we both really like. So we just had a great day. We were going to go to Be Our Guest for dinner, but we actually ended up canceling that and just got some quick service and went back to the room by probably like 4. We're like done. We're early, and then we're done early. So, and we watched Sister Wives in the room and just had a great time. It was such an awesome trip, such a fun thing for me and my mom to do together. And I'm so happy that we were able to do it here in October. So as I've been chit-chatting here, you can see that I've added all kinds of fun embellishments, and I just really love the way that this spread ends up looking. I like the mixture of the chipboard, so you have like that 3D element along with the die cuts, and I use some of the enamel dots, just all kinds of little things. Added a couple of the words like the Hey Pumpkin, which I just thought was a cute little phrase to put on there. Also the sweet word at the top on the left side, that is one of those like little tabs. And I'm going to add a few other things here and there, but for the most part, that's how this spread is going to end up turning, looking. But I wanted to, of course, add my journaling, and I was trying to figure out, okay, do I want to add pockets in the middle? But I really didn't have a lot more pictures. I had included the majority of the photos that I wanted to include right here. So what I ended up doing was I had a piece of transparency left. I need to order some more. I just always look up, clear transparency on Amazon. So I cut out a piece of transparency, punched my holes as you saw, and then I chose one photo and printed it off as a 3x4. And it's just the iconic Mickey like pumpkin wreaths that are all over Main Street. So I am rounding the corners of that. And then on the back of this, that's where I'm going to add my journaling. So I'm going to do basically like what I did for the game night page and like the doggy page earlier in the month. And so I'm going to choose a piece of pattern paper for the background. I think I do my tried and true polka dot. And right now I've adhered the polka dot paper to the back of this. And then I realize as I go that actually they don't need to be adhered. They need to be separate. And I'm going to put one on the front of the transparency and one on the back of the transparency. But luckily, that was a super easy fix. So here I have my journaling, just all about the trip. And I basically did the same kind of thing that I just did with you guys, like told the highlights of the 2 days. So I'm kind of figuring out, do I want the photo to be first? Did I want the journaling to be first? I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do here. So I end up going with the photo being on the front and the journaling being on the back. But I realized I had these ghosts and that if I adhered them back to back, they pretty much fit. So they're not like, it's not an absolute perfect fit, but you can see that as I adhered these ghosts, you can't really like, they fit behind each other well enough to match. Here's where I'm going to pull these two apart. And luckily, my adhesive was easy to pull apart so that I can place this photo onto the front of my transparency. And then I'm just going to turn it over, add some more adhesive, and then I'm going to place this one on the back. So then I have a little transparent element here that houses like my title, my journaling, and an additional photo. So this is just something a little bit different instead of always adding the pockets in the middle. And for this particular one, I mean, I definitely could have just gone with a 3x4 pocket, but I just thought it was something different, something cute. So I decided to do that. So here you're going to see that I'm just going to kind of place other things, as I go, as I find something that looks like it'll fit nicely, I'm going to place it there and just kind of fill in more of that space. I'm also going to eventually stamp on a little title onto that photo, which of course is going to be Disney, and just add my finishing touches to this spread. So as I'm doing that, we'll just keep chit-chatting about the month. So again, how have you guys been doing? How's your month been going? I hope you're enjoying these process videos, all of that. My month has been, as you know, pretty busy. I've had a lot of things going on with my birthday and different events that I had for my birthday, with going to Disney with my mom, and that was just a whirlwind with driving there, took a whole day, 2 days at the parks, which it takes a lot out of you, and then driving home took a whole day. So I'm still kind of recovering. We got home on Friday, the 17th, and so today is the 19th. So just a couple days we've been home. So still just kind of recovering and getting back into the groove of everything. And then also, of course, having Ruby in town, my friend Ruby. I mean, there's just been a lot of things going on. So I still do have several activities and fun things planned for the rest of the month. But I do think that they're a lot chiller, like no more trips, no more big events out. I'm just at home doing easy stuff, but I'm very excited for the rest of the month. So it does go by quickly, but so far I feel like I've packed mine full. So I'm feeling pretty good about all of that. Now, I will also say I'm about to do my stamp title real quick. Of course, I'm using that Honey and Spice Alpha stamp set from Heidi Swapp. But I will say that I've come to terms, I'm definitely going to be doing a second album. So I'm going to order that probably today. I need to go ahead and order a second album from Citrus Twist. It's inevitable. I'm going to have to. So what I end up doing is, you'll see as we finish these pages up, I do add one other photo that I didn't add, another Disney photo here, and I'm going to put that on the back side, and that's going to kind of be my ending. So I thought that I had like a good photo to end it with, and then we'll start up in a new album for like the second half of the month. So this pretty much goes with the Disney days were the 15th and the 16th. So right there at the middle of the month. And then we will pick up with the second album, and that's going to be the second half of the month. So just lots going on and lots to document this time. And even though I don't love to do 2 albums, I am excited about all the other activities and all the other things planned for the end of the month. And so I could probably fit maybe 2 or 3 more pages into this book, and it would be pretty dang chunky. So it's just way too much because I have like the whole second half of the month to go. So pretty crazy that I could not fit it. But the little tiny rings of the Life Crafted, I mean, there was no hope for me this time. So here you'll see that I did stamp out Disney, and now I'm just adhering it down with my little glue pen. I decided, since the top of that photo had a little bit of space, I just decided to put it on this side so that it could be kind of like the title, and then when you flip it, you will have the journaling there. And so for the most part, this one is done. And I really like this spread. I like that it looks a little more complicated than it really is. And there's a little bit of that like it still feels interactive with having that transparency in the middle. Not interactive, but you know what I mean. It seems a little unexpected and different, even though it's really easy to do and it's not just pockets. And I like that the photo, the title, all that is right in the middle of everything. Like a pocket, it would be over to the side. So I just like the way that that looks. So I added a few of the gold stars, and then on the back I added a little phrase sticker. And I think for the most part that's done. I may add a thing or two, but for the most part that is done. And then here we are going back, and this is actually the story right before Disney, and this is all about the Starbucks drink. So I totally forgot, whenever I was looking through all of my goodies, I found this sticker that I had ordered, I think off of Etsy or something, and I can't remember, but I didn't end up using it for whatever I got it for. And I thought, oh, I'm going to put it with my October daily stash because it looked like it was the right colors and everything. So I was really excited about that. So luckily I found it and I was able to use it here as like a cute embellishment on the front of my journaling. So what I'm doing is I placed just a little bit of adhesive on the back of the sticker, and then I'm cutting out, just cutting around it, fussy cutting around it so that it will have a back that is the same exact size as the front. And I'm essentially doing the same thing that I did for the Disney one, except that I only had a little piece of transparency left. So instead of doing a full size, I'm just doing a half page here. And then you'll see I'm going to adhere this to the back just like I did before. And it's almost like a little tab. So it's the same idea. It's just using less transparency, which worked out nicely, adding on my journaling. And so y'all, this story is about how, of course, I have this picture of me and my mom there that I printed off big, and that I took like in September, maybe even August. I took it right at the beginning of the season at our Target, which is the Starbucks that we go to, and you can see all of the skeletons and stuff in the background. So I just went with this same photo. But my story is all about how when the fall drinks launched, the Apple Crisp, Shaken Espresso, and the Macchiato and all that, they weren't on the menu. And it was a big bummer because that was mine and my mom's favorite fall drink for the last couple years. We have loved the Apple Crisp drink, which you might remember from my previous albums. I've documented it for years, and we always look forward to it coming back. Well, then my friend Casey, my bestie, who is she's the Starbucks and just coffee drink extraordinaire. She told me that they were coming back out with the Apple Crisp, which was super exciting. They had made a post, Starbucks had made a post about how everyone was really upset about not having the drink, so they were bringing it back. So then they ended up launching it. I thought it was supposed to be on the 14th, but they launched it on the 9th, right before my birthday. So I was so excited, but we weren't able to get it until a few days after my birthday. And the thing is, yes, they offer the Apple Crisp, but they do not offer the apple drizzle anymore, which is like makes the whole drink. That's the whole point of the drink. That's what makes it so appley and delicious. So very, very sad. I will not be getting the Apple Crisp. So I don't even know why they brought it back. If they're not going to bring back the entire drink the way that it was before, I don't know. But it was a big bummer. So that's what my story is basically about here. And then, you'll see that I added my journaling to the back of this cute little sticker. And then I also added a couple of those sticker tabs off of the big 12 by 12 sticker sheet. And now I am going to do my title. So for this title, I'm just stamping it straight onto the pattern paper here. And I'm just putting Welp, because it was just kind of like a, bummer kind of thing. So I'm telling this story about our drinks. I'm going to add a little phrase sticker under my title. And I do add my stamp, the date stamp, if I haven't already done that at the bottom. So I think it was dated maybe the 12th or the 13th or some day like that when me and my mom went back to Starbucks. Now, that's not the day that this picture was taken, but it is the day of the story. Like whenever we actually were able to get the Apple Crisp and there was no drizzle and it wasn't near as good and all that, what my story's about, that was from like the 12th when I have it dated there. So here I'm adding everything into place. So the only thing that I have left to do is I'm going to add my larger photo onto the back of that Disney spread. And that's going to be like the last page in my first album for the year. But I'm really loving the way that these are turning out and I'm so excited. So yeah, I did flip to the front cover, I have not added a title. So maybe in the next video or something, we will stamp out a title. I just want it to say like October Daily with the year and the dates and all that. I just keep forgetting to do that. So I am gonna eventually get there. So here I just added this large photo of me and my mom from Disney. One of my favorite kind of pictures to get while we are there is a shadow photo. Absolutely love these, especially at Disney, because with the different ears and stuff, they're so cute. So I have the smaller little like mini Mickey ears, and then my mom has the traditional Mickey ears there in the photo. There was a large Happy Halloween, and no, it's not like Halloween, but I thought that it's Halloween season. So that was off the 12 by 12 sticker sheet as well. So I ended up adding that into place, and I don't even think I add any other embellishments. I might add a few little stars probably. Yeah. A few little gold stars. But other than that, I keep it pretty simple here. And this is just going to be the very back page of this book. And then, like I said, we will start with the second album in the next video. So I still will probably have a few other videos out this month, these process videos, because I do have probably like the same amount of stories to go. So let's say there'll at least be maybe 3 or 4 more process videos potentially throughout the month. So I decided to add a little, one other little tiny phrase sticker there that said stay spooky. And then I'm adding on a few other gold stars, just like any finishing touches and things. I'm just popping into place. And then actually at the very end, I am going to use some of my gold like Heidi Shine or my replacement Heidi Shine there. So you will also see that in just a second. But I'm going to first give you a bit of a flip through of all of the pages that we worked on today. I did want to add one other little embellishment here to this bottom corner of our drink. So I add a cute little spider web, so you can see that one. Then we move on to the Disney page. And this is where I was like, okay, I think I need a little something else. So I end up taking these pages out. There's my ending. I love that. So I end up taking my pages out right here. And I'm going to use that Heidi Shine. So it's not actually Heidi Shine. I'm trying to look really quick and see what it is. It's Liquitex acrylic ink, just in the iridescent bright gold. So I got that off of Amazon, and I just put it in my little Heidi Shine bottle, and it works out really nicely. It's a great replacement. So I'm going to put that on. Then I come back whenever it is all dry, and I'll give you a bit of an up close look at that. And then we will put it back into the album and have everything all done in this first volume for the month. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this process video. If you did, please give me a like, and please also consider subscribing. And of course, I will be back at you super soon for more October Daily fun videos. I hope y'all are having an absolutely a great month. I hope you have a great rest of your week, that you get to do something fall and fun. And I will talk to you later. Bye, y'all.